This morning on the Jersey Magazine, we welcome back Robert Hatch. He's the manager of donor recruitment for Vitalant. Robert, good morning and welcome back to WDHA and the Jersey Magazine.
Great to see you again, Jim. Thank you for the time. How are things? All right?
Very well, very well. I want to talk to you, of course, about blood supply. That's why we have you on this morning. And what is the current supply like at this time?
Can we get this population to donate blood? I mean, really, more regularly? Well, I'll tell you, it's gotten better. I'll say that. As we talked about last time, COVID, schmovid, that whole thing, has certainly taken its toll on our industry, among others. But it is slowly getting back to I don't want to say a steady place, but it's getting to the point where we're seeing groups come back to us. Our high school groups are coming back to us now, which were on, hiatus for quite some time. They are coming back in some capacity, almost to full capacity, which is great. Even some of our corporations are coming back. Some people are working not from home anymore. They're actually going back to the office. Imagine that. So that's encouraging. But the bulk of our groups have been, and I'm sure this is like this all over, has been our community-based groups, which has been, churches, temples, VFWs, fire departments, local responders, first responders, excuse me, anyone in the community that's willing to run a blood drive. That's been a huge uptick for us. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. It's just, fortunately, it's still not enough yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I'll say that.
You mentioned, getting people motivated to donate blood, and it's really a relatively easy thing. I try to do it every few months to keep it going. What do you think is the deterrent for people when time, this, that? What do you think is the major deterrent that prevents?
Believe it or not, it's funny you mentioned that to me because we were talking about this at a meeting at work the other day, and I remember when I first started when I was 17, 18 years old, I was thinking it was I don't like the sight of blood. I don't like a needle in my arm, things like that. And believe it or not, when we survey donors from all across the United States, the answer we get back is, I don't want to say always the same, but predominantly the same. It's because they were never asked. And if you can believe that, and you let that sink in, my parents, same way. They never donated until I said, hey, Mom, Dad, roll up your sleeves. It takes an hour. Let's go. And then sure enough, they would donate. So I'm sure there's some people that are still squeamish around needles or the sight of blood, and that's okay. I understand that. But I'd argue the majority, at least being in this business a while, is because it's the unknown. No one thinks about this on a daily basis. They have, two jobs, they have kids, they take them to soccer practice, they come home, cook dinner, start, the next day. So the key is making that ask and making sure you're referring to a friend and asking everybody you can to roll up their sleeves and donate. That's all it takes. That's been the biggest reason I've seen in my history of doing this.
We're speaking with Robert Hatch this morning, the manager of donor recruitment for Vitalant, as we're looking for blood. What is a typical summer like for your organization? In terms
I was hoping you wouldn't ask that,
supply.
But yeah, no, it's a good question, and it's the biggest challenge I'd argue every blood bank faces. I mean, again, your high schools are out; they're going down the shore. There's no high schools in session right now for the next 2-3 months. So, same thing with colleges, unless it's summer classes, but that's slim to none. So, right now, again, it's really focusing on our community-oriented groups. It is very difficult. The blood supply takes a dip in the summer months for mid to late June to, I'd say, the first week of September, because as we know, listen, we're the destination, Jersey Shore. People are going on vacation. They're taking 3-day weekends, Memorial Day, things of that nature. There's Father's Day weekend. I mean, there's July 4th weekend. So it takes a bit of a hit. So we have to bulk up during the week for some heavy blood drives at our community during the week, I'd say Monday through Friday, because, again, weekends are just slim pickings, and it's very difficult to get a high-producing blood drive over a weekend. So, again, reaching out to our community groups to let them know, hey, we need you during the year, but the summer doesn't go away. That's not just a little open space where, we can take the, 2 months off, 2 or 3 months off. So we make it more of a point. Sometimes we have to offer incentives if that helps. Anything to get the group to really understand the need. Because again, hospitals don't take a vacation, so we certainly still need them in the summer. But typically, yeah, summer takes a bit of a dip compared to, let's say, the winter or the spring, I would say.
You mentioned incentives, and I will admit at least one of my 2 most recent donations were because at the time you had an incentive going. Oh, yeah, sure, I want to give blood, and well, why not? It works.
Listen, absolutely. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, everyone has their own reason to do it. And if we can afford to give as a not-for-profit a $10 Amazon gift card. Fantastic. That's a nice little thank you. We appreciate it. Sometimes we're able to give a t-shirt. Some people still love those. I have a whole closet full of them from my years of donating. But again, at the end of the day, everyone has their own reason. And whether it's altruism or they would like a free health screening for their cholesterol, or they do want that gift card, at the end of the day, you're giving back, not to sound cliche, but you're giving the gift of life, and you're giving a pint of blood that's going to go to help somebody. So at the end of the day, as long as we get them through the door, that's what matters to us.
That health screening, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that's very undervalued. People don't realize that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you go to a doctor, and you and I go to a doctor, whether we're covered in insurance or not. You want to get a cholesterol test, or it'll cost some cash. So at the end of the day, if we're providing free health screenings such as cholesterol, blood pressure, temperature, pulse, iron count, your blood type, I mean, again, these are all included. There's not a cost to it at all. So, I mean, that's a free advantage to your point that no one really talks about a lot. So I definitely like to know my health vitals now that I'm 41. I'm not 20 anymore. I actually do care about my cholesterol and blood pressure. So I'm getting there. So it's a wonderful thing. So just to make sure listeners, I hope they heard that listen, these are all free health screenings. It's our pleasure to do it. And it's all online. It's available to you literally 2 days after your donation.
We're talking with Vitalant's Robert Hatch. He's the manager of donor recruitment for blood donations here at 105.5 WDHA on the Jersey Magazine. You mentioned blood type. What are the most needed blood types at this time, Robert?
Oh, how much time you got? All right, I'll say at the end of the day, Jim. Well, it's a good question. I get that question actually a lot, and I will say this: yes, the rarest blood type is AB negatives, followed by O negative. But at the end of the day, every blood type right now is needed. I'm not even kidding. It's to the point where we can't get rid of it, fast enough. So it's to a point where there are 8 blood types. And of course, the negatives are always nice. Anything that is O positive. O positive is one of the most common, but therefore it's one of the most used. So, anybody we can get through the door, we'll roll out the red carpet for you. I have it in my closet. I'll just roll it out for you. You come in and, roll up those sleeves. But right now, I'd say anything negative or in the O family are crucial to our blood supply right now.
And if a group or organization does want to run their own blood drive, whether in person or virtual, how do they go about doing that?
Simple. Go to Vitalant.org, and we're a national organization. You can simply, it's such a easy to navigate website. Click on there. If you're in New Jersey, you click on New Jersey, click on the button, I would like to donate or set up my own blood drive at my local community or workplace. And that'll take you either to me or a quick little form you fill out, which takes 30 seconds. Badoonch, it'll get to me and we'll take care of you. Simple. Vitalant.org.
What's involved with a virtual blood drive these days, Robert?
When you're doing a virtual blood drive, we kind of had to go that route because of COVID. Because again, as you know, several corporations, we see a lot of empty rent spaces nowadays. A lot of folks working virtually and working from home. So we said, if they're working virtually, let's do a virtual blood drive. As much as I'd like to come to your home and take your blood, we can't do that. But what we were encouraging people to do, if we did a blood drive at XY Corporation for years, and now all of a sudden they're all working remotely, we said, okay, I'll tell you what, let's set up a day for one of our donor centers, and we'll have an XY Corporation day here at one of our donor centers. And we'll give you a code. You can 28 people that came in today were from this organization, and they came to our fixed site to donate blood. And we will still provide you with the same accommodations, snacks, beverages, the health screenings, you name it. And that's what the virtual blood drive was intended to do. And it actually worked better than we thought. We were a little worried at first. We didn't really know what it would result in, but there were still committed donors that are willing to drive an extra mile or two to go to our fixed site and donate blood instead of the comfort of their own, organization or corporation or their office. So simple again, just go to Vitalant.org, find the nearest donor center near you, and we'll take care of you.
And there are 4 centers in the New Jersey WDHA listening area: Lincoln Park, Montvale, Paramus, and Parsippany. So again, Lincoln Park, Montvale, Paramus, Parsippany. So kind of if you're within the sound of our voices, you're pretty close to a center. Once again, the website is Vitalant.org. And if you want to call somebody, 877-25-VITAL. That's 877-25-VITAL. Robert Hatch, Vitalant's manager of donor recruitment. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and continued success trying to get blood donations throughout the summer.
Thank you so much, Jim. Thanks for your support. You're a beast. You know that, right?